Nobody wants universal healthcare because it will be too expensive. Nobody wants their taxes to be 60 to 70%. What? Look, saying that your taxes will go up 70% is nothing more than misleading oversimplification of the issue. Yes, universal healthcare would be more expensive, but we already spend more per capita on healthcare than any other country. We spend around $12,742 per person on healthcare. Highest in the world. Higher than Germany, higher than the UK. Those countries don't have tax rates at 60 or 70%. And even if some of them did have higher tax rates, it would not be blanket for everyone. It would be for the highest income earners. This seems like a good time in the video to explain how taxes work because a lot of people are misinformed or not informed at all. When they hear a politician say, I'll be raising taxes to 37% or 40%, they go, no, I make no money. You're taking all of my money. So let's explain how it works. This is the 2024 tax bracket. I'm just doing for single people because it's going to be easier. If you make under $11,600 a year, you will pay 10% in taxes. But think of these brackets like a ladder. So if you make $191,500, or let's just say you make $200,000, on your first $11,600, you're going to be taxed at 10%. On your $11,600 to $47,150, you'll be taxed at 12%. On your $47,150 to $100,525, you'll be taxed at 22%. If you make $100,525 to $191, you'll be taxed at 24%. And let's say, like I said, you make $200,000. Only the money over $191,500 will be taxed at 32%. So if you make $191,500, you are not just taxed 32% on everything. It's like a sliding scale. It's like a ladder. And yes, the highest income earners do pay the most, but the majority of Americans are all the way down here somewhere. So your taxes and most Americans' taxes likely wouldn't go up very much. And here's the plot twist. Even if they did go up a little, it would still be cheaper to have universal health care. And here's why. But things really wouldn't change from where they are today, except that every American would be covered, and we would likely save money by eliminating premiums, deductibles, and copays. Let me just tell you about me for a second. The most I've ever paid on health insurance was $485 a month with an $8,000 deductible. That's crazy. That means I'm out several $1,000s per year just to have the fortune to pay for something. And then if I actually got sick, I'd have to pay an additional $8,000. I'd be at around $13,000 or $14,000 before my healthcare even kicked in. If my healthcare covered what was wrong with me. And we know that they deny a lot of claims. We know, for example, that 35,000 to 44,000 Americans are murdered every single year because they just don't have enough money to pay to get better. Uninsured are more than 40% likely to die than those with private insurance. 66.5% of bankruptcies are due to medical debt. And of the 2 million personal bankruptcies that are filed every single year, 62% of them come from medical debt. This only happens in America. We spend double. I know I've already shown this, but it's important. We spend double on healthcare versus other countries in the world like Germany and the UK. This means that if we just shifted funding from insane premiums, copays, and deductibles to a small increase in taxes, we would cover everyone and we wouldn't have to raise taxes to something absurd like 70%. And call me crazy here, but we could also tax corporations and billionaires at their fair share too. The trade-offs could be huge, like reduced stress, no more medical bankruptcies, and no more relying on your job for your healthcare, which could be huge for the economy. Think about how many people are only working in jobs that are making them sick and miserable because they get the healthcare that they need or the health insurance. Whereas if their healthcare wasn't directly tied into the job, maybe they could quit and start that small business after all. But they might not be able to because when you quit, not only do you lose your healthcare, but your healthcare rates skyrocket when you have a private plan. So saying that everyone's taxes would suddenly be 70%, not only is it a slight exaggeration, but it's just not true. And we'd be happier and healthier. Call me crazy, but that sounds kind of nice.